Hey y'all, it's Faatima, and this is the Faatima Odessa Show. You are now on my channel. Welcome to Disney Channel. I want to welcome everybody. If you know me in real life, you knew I said I was coming. She's coming, I'm here. But if you are new, if you just clicked on this video and said, she cute, let me watch, welcome to the gang. People that know me in real life, everyone knows that I'm like extremely private. And a big part of content right now, a big part of industry is share all this information about yourself. And so it took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to share with the world, what I wanted to keep for myself and for my loved ones. It's important for me to put out there for everybody else. And so this episode is called Too Deep for the Intro. If that went by your noggin, that is from J. Cole. This is the introductory episode. Who am I? What is this page gonna be about? What is this show gonna be about? What am I gonna bring? How am I different? And I really wanna be clear that I wanna see this as a show and not as a channel. But YouTube, I need to check. Write that check. We giving Black women all their things this year and beyond. And if we're not giving it to them, we coming to collect. We coming to collect. We coming to collect. What I'm gonna try to do on this channel specifically is to highlight Black-owned brands, Bronx-based brands, BX to be next. I need that to be an introductory episode, like South Bronx forever and South Bronx supremacy forever. Did it? We did. Us. And so as a South Bronx supremacist, so it's gonna be like, girl, that's not what those words mean. It is, that's what that means. Say this on camera, episode 1, Too Deep for the Intro, that 95% of things that I wear will either be Black owned or have Black people on it. Because that is my epicenter, Blackness. For so long, Black anything has been the alternative. Obviously not in our communities, but in mass production while people siphon off all of our style, all of our charisma, all of our understanding. And so I want to be clear from the very beginning that this is strictly for my luxury, Black-owned designer, Black-owned small businesses. Okay? Because when I think about luxury and I think about lifestyle, it's never outside of my community that I'm going to looking for the looks. When it comes to like high-end brand things that I wear, designer things, I'm always like, how do I look like the women that I grew up really looking at and admiring for their style? And it's always centered in being a Black woman. And so I'm never outside of the culture when I think about those things. Blackness is a luxury. I know we don't see that and we don't say that much just because of obviously all that is put upon us so that we have other things to fight versus knowing that we are the people. And so in the words of Umar Johnson, I'm for Black people first. I'm for Black people first. So right here is Pyer Moss. Shout out to Kirby. This is a Black-owned jewelry brand. I believe it's pronounced Ben Oni, but if I'm chopping that up, sister girl, my fault. I'll post both of those in the bio below. I've been waiting to say, check below in the description box. Check below in the description box. A big part of me for a really long time was scared to just cut the camera on and to be myself. And then I thought, like, you really that girl. So as that girl, you can't be afraid of yourself, right? And so I was like, okay, worried about perception and what will people think when I got on here? And what will my family think? What will my friends think? Already think I'm an icon. And so it's time for everybody else to get on board with the fact that I'm an icon. And I can't be an icon if nobody knows. In the South Bronx, there are a lot of stories of shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? If I would have did this. And everybody that has regrets will tell you that they just didn't put themselves out there. And a big part of that is fear. And Nina Simone, a Black woman that I look to in her history of just being courageous outside of whatever everybody was talking about. And one of my favorite quotes ever comes from this short video of Nina Simone, and someone is asking her, what does freedom look like to you? And I talk in quotes, by the way. So it's either going to be movie quotes or it's going to be song lyrics. Or it's going to be things from which I watch, like documentaries and things of the like. But I remember Nina Simone saying that freedom to her was no fear. And it took me a long time to really grasp that, how much I held myself back from fear. Not even fear of like things that I know to be scary, right? Fear of the unknown. If I do this, what will people do? If I do this, what will people say? If I do this and people don't like it, right? And I'm not really a people pleaser. I would like to say that I'm not. But when it came to cutting this camera on and uploading things, a big part was like the fear of the unknown, right? I put this out there and it's up to other people to do whatever they will with it. And for a long time, that was holding me back. What is for me is what is for me. And what is not is what is not. And nobody's journey is my journey. I need to be the one that orchestrates whatever I'm doing. I'm the author of my narrative. And the only way to get that narrative out, for whether people like it or not, is to put it out. As a young Black woman, it's going to be a whole lot of people that marginalize you and tell you what you can do and what you can't. But what I can't do is do that for myself ever, anymore and ever again. As this year begins, I wanted to be clear that I'm going to do what I want and I'm going to do what I think is important. I know enough and I think that I'm smart enough and I think that I'm capable enough and I think that I'm talented enough to make this work. And I got to think that. And the way that you think that is to push it forward and make sure that other people can receive that. And the only way that I can do that is to literally press P. And so I sat around waiting to get discovered. And that did not happen, right? And that's not because like I'm not talented and I'm not brilliant and I'm not beautiful. It's just because I didn't put myself out there. And I think a lot of the time we are waiting for some mystical force outside of ourselves to do stuff. You gotta be able to meet your opportunity wherever it is. And so a lot of the time, for a while, I was waiting for opportunity to meet me. And that didn't happen, right? And I think, and not on some shoulda, coulda, woulda, I'm sad about it, or I'm really hesitant, or I'm scared. But in this world, you can't wait for somebody to come film your life. You have to be able to say, I'm proud of myself, I'm sure of myself, and even if I'm unsure, I'm not fearful. Whatever's for me will be for me. Whatever's for somebody else will be for somebody else. But what I gotta do is not be scared of myself and of my power, right? And like, shout out to Beyonce. Icons only. I stand icons only. If your favorite's not an icon, can't relate to that, girl. Audre Lorde says that your silence will not save you, so speak up. If you don't speak up, somebody else is gonna write the narrative for you. And I think about the life that I wanna live and what I wanna leave behind, and I'm the one that orchestrates that. I'm the author of my story. I'm specifically here for women who look like me to have a voice. And I gotta trust that my voice will be big enough. And I gotta trust that people will like what I have to say. And if they don't, that they will at least understand that this is coming from a place of freedom and a place of no fear. Sure, this will be a YouTube channel at the beginning, but I have so many other thoughts and so many other concepts and so many other ideas about who I want myself to be and what I want my channel to be. It comes from the history of my love for words, my love for media, my love for music, my love for poetry, and all the background that I have all weaved into one. And so I wanted to make a channel and a show that highlighted the things that I find cool. I have a lot of ideas and concepts in my brain. She does what she needs to do often. And so we're gonna have a good time and we're gonna push some boundaries and some envelopes and we're gonna have discussion. Another big component is fashion. I'm really into fashion. I've always been. Another component of this show, which is near and dear to me, is literary stuff. I love reading. Reading has saved my life many times. As a young girl who was really introverted and in my room 90% of the time, there are things that kept me sane and kept me active and kept me coming back to myself. And a big part of that was reading. We're gonna have book club, we're gonna have literary reviews. We're gonna discuss what new books are coming out. I'm really excited about that. Music is also a really big part of my life. I'm always making playlists and recommending things to the people that I love to listen to. And so we absolutely are gonna tap into music genres and what is important in lyrics. I had it on my paper to rap dreams and nightmares for y'all. I had it on my paper to rap dreams and nightmares. Like, I used to play for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that to shine like I was ready. I was meek. I was ready. But I will not do that. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I bought that Aston Martin, y'all thought it was tinted? Flexing on them haters, I'm like Popeye with the spinach. Double MG, that's the team. Rosetta, captain on the lieutenant. Okay, those things would be me rapping Griselda. So Conway, Benny, Westside Gun, call me because I have concepts. The good girls like y'all, and I feel like y'all not tapping into that demographic. Okay, my channel being Faatima Odessa, the Faatima Odessa show is because all the amazing people that I thought about, their shows always had their name in it. And I have a name, and I was really named with a purpose. And I think about the history of my name and what it means. And so I'm not gonna give y'all a whole etymology, but what I will say is, if you know in numerous religions what Fatima stands for and who she is, right? She is a light. And I realized I want to be me as possible, without taking from myself, without taking from my loved ones. That means I am Faatima Odessa. And so my first name, my dad named me, by the way. Also Odessa, which is named after my grandmother. So technically I'm a junior or a second. And my dad named me after her because of the woman she was. And my grandmother has passed. It will be 2 years very soon. And how do I embody the women of my past and speak for the women who wish they had more voices and had more camera time and had more to share of themselves, and who left a statement in this world and in my life, but also in the lives of others. And so all the women that came before me that speak through me. And so my mama and my grandma, my aunties, and it shows up on my face. I look like every single woman in my family, really intentional about this is how I'm showing up in the world as myself. And my last name is a slave owner's last name, so we're not gonna do too much. But, and so I could have had a bunch of other names, and it could have been the Fetsy show. So you'll see that, and that's like my name chain and things like that, because that's what, the people that are close to me call me. But I'm being clear that and intentional. The two names that mean the most to me in my life are my first name. I am who I am. My name is my name. That is a Wire reference. Shout out to Marlo Stanfield for being an icon in the Monica video, because I think about things like that. And shout out to Jamie Hector. I know your real name, but like, you are Marlo Stanfield. Growing up and meeting young girls, at least a little older than I was at that time, to like usher in things like what is cool, what is stylish, what is important, what is fun, what should I be reading, what should I be looking into, how should I be moving and progressing with my friends, with my family. And I remember all these different shows that really highlighted that for me. And I want to shout those shows out for a second. But I think about the people that really I saw on TV, that I saw on YouTube, that I saw in cinema. There's so many shows that I grew up watching with women that I thought were so iconic that I want to share and highlight. Keke Palmer had her show, right? How old was Keke? Like 21? And interviewing people and writing what she found was cool. I think that was when Ferguson was, what is that, like 2014? 2014 she was on TV, and I think she was like, what, 22 or something. And so I think about when Monique had her show on BET, when Queen Latifah had her show. I don't know if it's still on, by the way, but Queen Latifah having her show, or Ayanla, I call Ayanla at least once a week, yeah. I think about all these women, Black women specifically, that usher in how we do media and how we do content and how we talk to other people. And so I want to do more stuff like that. I want to push the envelope into what we know, what we can talk about as a group, what we can lay bare in front of other people. I used to run home from middle school to watch the Oprah show. And it wasn't because I could relate to Oprah, right? I'm like 10, but it was because I saw this woman who looked like me, who had opinions, and people cared about what she had to say. And I remember being like really young and being like, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be that for the streets. Everybody has their opinions about Oprah, but we cannot say that she did not shift what we know everything to be, as far as platforms, as far as Black billionaires, as far as your voice, your name meaning something. And so shout out to Oprah, the blueprint of who we could be and what we could be and how she ushered in Iyanla. And y'all can say whatever y'all want about Iyanla, but this is Issa Rae's world, okay? So we live in Issa Rae's world. And I remember specifically being in high school and being like this awkward Black girl for sure. If you went to my high school, and I'm still like cool, people like me. And I guess I would say I was popular. But inside, I had a lot of like all the stuff that used to say on her show out loud, and you'd be like cringing. That's what was going on in my mind. And so I remember watching Awkward Black Girl, The Adventures of Awkward Black Girl. I was in high school. I think it came out, I was in 10th grade. And I was like siphoning the internet for any kind of relatability at that time. And Issa's character was like me on TV. I was like, oh my God, like she's me. And seeing in 10 years what she can do, I'm like, girl, cut the camera on. Cut the camera on so that people could see, right? And so 10 years later, Issa's here. And she has moved the pendulum of what we think Black success is. How do you gather your people? How do you make a platform for people like you? You just do it. That's my girl. I think about how I learned how to cook. And honestly, I grew up in a house. My mama was not sitting me down like, hey, girl, these are the recipes. She wasn't passing the recipes down. So shout out to Auntie Fee. If you are from the YouTube generation, I learned how to cook Black people food, specifically from watching Auntie Fee, RP the real. Auntie Fee was amazing and she cussed like no other, but her cooking was so amazing. And I remember like all the videos of her family coming over and this is some shit for the kids, like just cooking stuff for the kids and just me being excited to learn how to cook before I even knew what I was doing. So I have a component on this show that's called Bad Book Cooking Network, and we gonna cook. And if you do not know how to cook, baby, I'm gonna teach you, because my mama, she wasn't doing that and it took me too long. So if you're a baddie and you wanna learn how to cook, stay tuned. Sorry, mama, if you're watching this, you know, girl, 10% of me learning how to cook came from my mama. My mama did not, she was like, girl, please go read a book. And so I was reading books. Shout out to the people who read. No, that's not a pun. Shout out to the people who read. Okay, so my mama, she was not in the kitchen whipping the yams. I think about how important media was for me growing up. Watch 106 in Park specifically for free, and Cedar's World. And if you're from New York City, I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the South Bronx. It's in the veins, baby. Radio was super important. Listening to Miss Jones in the morning, listening to Wendy Williams every day. Like my mama swore by Wendy before she even got on TV. Listen, just shout out all the women who gave me the recipes. And so I want to do this channel because we losing the recipes, y'all. We are losing the recipes. And I want to do this channel for young Black girls who don't have people to pass them the recipes. Thank everybody for watching, and please share because the streets need this, and please like because I need that, and please comment because I want to know what you all want to see from me. Not that I'll do it, but I also want to know. I do this for the Gap Tooth girls. So we're gonna be real on this channel, meet with some amazing people who I know. I know a lot of legends. And so future legends. I'm the one that knew them before when, right? And so what's gonna happen is we gonna live out loud together. And it ain't gonna be for fake. A lot of the time, I wanted to live this version of myself that was like all put together and perfect. And I think that's why it took me so long to do this. That ain't finna happen here. I'm gonna be as authentic as possible for the BS, right? We put on presentations a lot for other people. We show our best selves, but our true selves can be profitable too. I want to do what is real. I want to do what is true. I want to do what makes me free. Open a door and that other people can see ways to become their free selves. And I think about that all the time, and what makes me free, what makes us all freer each day is like, fear is going to exist. How do we push past that fear? How do we open up ourselves and open up our hearts to be fearless, or to see the fear and to hold it and then push past it? And the biggest part, the biggest gut-wrenching, fearful part is press and record, right? I'll probably be more fearful when I have to edit and do things like that. But just the first part is like, yo, sit down and record. Sit down and be honest and vulnerable. What are you scared of, right? We're all living this life together. And either I'm a pop and y'all gonna be like, oh, I knew sis when. And she started off and like, you know, recording from her iPhone. And now she's like this superstar. And that's what I want to be. I want to be able to have a show that talks and is catered to people that look like me, people that come from places that are similar to where I come from, people that have hair that's like mine and skin that's like mine. And we're going to see how far this takes us. I'm really excited about what this can be. I'm really excited about my ideas and the content that I want to create and the things that I find cool and amazing that I want to share with everybody else. And so I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. The real will be televised. Welcome to the Faatima Odessa Show. The he's, the she's, the they's. It's for us. This one's for the boys with the boomer system. Top down AC with the cooler system. When he come up in the club, he be... Okay. I used to be a barb. Episode 1 of the Faatima Odessa Show. Peace and love.